Greetings, ladies and gentle readers. I finished me some Thunder Kraken, which, full disclosure, I love the first book. I thought it was completely adorable. It is written by two authors, as you can clearly see here. And weirdly enough, it is not really that popular of a book. You may never have heard it. It is entirely possible. If we go back to the first one, for example, you can see here that it's got 475 reviews, and that's not nothing clearly. But I've read way worse that have had 10 times the amount of sales as this one. And I've always thought that was a little bit strange. And I kind of think I can sort of put my finger on why. Like, if you go and look at this series, which I absolutely enjoy, there are things that you will not notice throughout this entire little blurb here. One, you are not going to see the words lit RPG because it is not one. But you are also not going to see the words progression, which it is one. So anyone looking into a kind of progression sort of novel, it's easy to miss Kraken Rider Z because you are not going to hit that particular search term while you are looking for this. Now, it is not, scroll back up here to the actual book, thank you. It's not a progression novel in the sense that, there's chi and blah, 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 right? Like Cradle, for example. But it is a progression style novel in the sense they have to gather an energy source and they have to refine that energy source in order to get stronger, both himself and, well, not that, that's the dragon. We don't really see the oh, yeah, kind of see it right there. And the adorable, ever so lovely little Kraken down there. So it is a progression novel in that context. But for whatever reason, decided not to put that in the title. Now, admittedly, it could have been a decision similar to Iron Prince, right? If we look at Iron Prince, it doesn't say that it is a lit RPG, but there's, what do you call it? There are stats and stat screens and what have you throughout the whole thing. And despite that, it is wildly successful, despite not always coming up in the classic search terms. As you can see here, you're not going to find this in lit RPG, right? Because there's nothing to denote that it is such a thing. And I think that's kind of where Kraken Rider Z, the series in general, was kind of going with that. But I think it's not getting the same traction. I think that might be to its detriment. So really quick, spoiler-free description of the series thus far. You've got, I'm assuming this is him. You've got the main character. You've got, well, let's go back to this. It's a lot easier to show here. Yeah, there we go. And you've got his adorable Kraken. Now, in this particular world that they find themselves in, it's mostly dominated by dragon riders, and everyone fears the Kraken. They're thought to be extinct. Guess what? They're not. Otherwise, you wouldn't. It's not a spoiler. It's literally right there in the title. It couldn't be Kraken Rider Z if there was no friggin' Kraken, right? Well, I mean, I guess you could. Maybe a Kraken Rider Z being like a illusionist or I don't know. I don't know how you would do it. But yeah, obviously they're not extinct. And the first book is essentially this boy. Does it tell? Hold on. Is this a spoiler? Is it a spoiler? Is it a spoiler? Yes. Okay, it would be slight spoil. Is it spoiled in the description of the second book? Looking for a specific word, It looks like not so much. Okay, well, I'm going to give you one teeny tiny spoiler. The main character is a merman. He's from the sea, washed up onto the shore. That's a big thing in this world right now because something has happened under the waters. We don't know what. And a whole bunch of young mer people who couldn't defend themselves, let's say, wind up washed ashore. What's going on there? Where'd all the Kraken go? What's going on with all these mer people? That's pretty much the question of the story. And in the first book here, he has to prove that one, they're not just a bunch of weaklings. Two, the Kraken's not going to go off and kill everyone. And he really has, it's really a like sort of kind of little bit of a one person versus the world sort of thing at first, as he struggles to cement himself into society and find his role in it. So that is pretty cool. I like that. More people come onto his side. It's not going to be just a story of, one big bad MC doing crazy things and saving everyone single-handedly. It's not that. It's not that. But it does start off having to prove himself, and that's cool. Now, Thunder Kraken Book 2 takes a little bit of a change, sort of. It's more of a slice of life because he's always wanted to go into the academy here. And he winds up fully enrolled in the academy in Book 2. Great, fantastic. But he's also a little bit separated from his Kraken, so he can prove that he deserves to be there, and he's tough enough to be there on his own without the extra magic, without the extra, magic progression that he shares with him and the Kraken. So in that sense, it's a lot slower in Book 2. I could understand if people who really went into Book 1 might have misgivings about Book 2, but I think that'd be a little bit unfair, but I would get it because of the more slice of life aspects of him at the academy going through basic training and all of that kind of stuff. I'm a little bit concerned with Book 3. Book 3 says that there's going to be a tournament arc, which they're common, let's just say. And I hope it goes in a unique direction. Because if it's just a tournament arc, it's gonna be kind of boring. It's gotta have something else. It's gotta have things in the background. It's gotta have something to take your attention away from the tournament, and have the tournament just be a thing that he has to deal with while this other thing is going on. I would think. Otherwise, it just becomes, tournament in book 5,602 or whatever of all the lit RPG and progression stuff that you always read about. I feel that would take away a lot from book 3. That said, overall, I am enjoying the series. It is not a quickly written series, as you can see here. Kraken Rider Z came out, where are you? November 14th, 2023. And Thunder Kraken came out just January 7th, 2025. So they are taking, these two authors who are writing it are clearly taking their time, making sure that it is written properly rather than, so much of the lit RPG and even progression space, which, authors are just, churning things out left and right. And there's not a whole lot there. In these books so far, there have been a whole lot there. There's been more to the characters. There's a world that's being fleshed out. All of that good stuff. It's got its own history. It's just a well-told story. So that circles back to, I'm really disappointed that there aren't more reviews for this. It hasn't sold more copies. And again, I wonder if it's because the people who are into well-told progression novels, maybe they don't know that this is a progression novel. Hard to say. Either way, I recommend it. If you are into any kind of progression novel, if you want to hear about a boy and his Kraken in a world full of dragons, then yeah, this is definitely for you, I would have to say. So yeah, if that sounds up your alley, you should definitely pick it up. Check out the first one, Kraken Rider Z. Thunder Kraken's not bad either. And next year, when the third one's released, I hope I remember to go ahead and pick up and review that as well. I am following the author, so I should be able to do so. But yeah, I enjoyed. Hope you enjoy the books as well, and I will see you all next time. Okay, buddy.